Prohibition's annual Christmas gin has built up somewhat of a reputation of being one of the hottest releases of the year. But how does the 2021 edition stack up? Well, you're about to find out, and we're starting right now. G'day folks, if you're new here, my name's Tim and welcome to Tim and Tonic, where we discover the world's best gins and how to drink them. It's the beginning of November and we're all starting to get into that Christmas spirit a little, no pun intended there, but I decided to get in early. I snapped up a bottle of Prohibition's Christmas gin as soon as I saw it was released because each year is ever so slightly different. One of the things I love about Prohibition is how open they are about their ingredients. I mean, look, my delivery came with this little card here, which pretty much tells you all the different botanicals that go into it. So they start with that classic, their dry gin base, which by the way, I absolutely love. If you haven't checked it out, it's really great. You should definitely try it. But then on top of that, they macerate, infuse it with a whole bunch of other botanicals. We're talking figs, cherries, vanilla, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, star anise, and cloves. So with an ingredient list like that, it doesn't really get much more Christmassy. So let's give it a crack and see what this gin has in store for us. Oh wow, I haven't even put the bottle down. I could smell all those baking spices already. That's pretty crazy. I don't think I really need to get much closer, but let's see what the Prohibition Christmas gin has on the nose for us. Oh wow, as I expected, I mean, I could smell it before I even lifted up to my nose. That spice is big and bold and punchy. The first thing I get is loads of star anise. It's quite strong, so if you're not a big fan of star anise, be a little bit wary with this one. But then, yeah, definitely there's a lot more going on. There's a really nice warming sensation coming from the ginger. It's actually really nice. Let's see if I can get anything else other than the spice. I mean, there's definitely some juniper in here, which is nice, which, I mean, you don't usually think of juniper as a Christmas kind of a smell, but it really is. It's a pine tree kind of smell after all, so what is more Christmas than pine trees? On top of that, I really do get a nice sweet note. I guess that's coming from the vanilla. It's quite comforting. I don't really get any fruity notes from those figs and from those cherries, but maybe they're gonna come through on the taste. But before we get onto the tasting, if you do me a little favor, hit the like button now so we can spread the love of gin a little bit further. Maybe even let me know down in the comments if there's any other gins you wanna see on the channel. But we're here for this Prohibition Christmas gin, so let's give it a taste. Oh, wow, once again, that spice hit is massive. It really does taste a little bit Christmas cakey, which I guess that's exactly what they were going for. Again, that star anise is pretty punchy, so I don't know, if you're not a massive fan of star anise, licorice, or aniseed, or those kind of flavors, it might not be for you, but personally, I absolutely love it, especially when you put it in a drink and you just get a little bit and it gives that little bit of extra complexity. I think it's absolutely amazing. But the other thing I have to say about this gin is it is quite sweet. There's definitely some sugar in there. I'm not sure whether they add sugar to kind of tame the spice and make it more liqueur-like, or if that's natural sugar coming from the fruits, but it is quite sweet, so just bear that in mind. So far we've got sweet, we've got spice. Let's see what else there is. The sweetness actually gives a really nice texture and makes it really easy to drink. I mean, this is 38%, so it's not too low, and that kind of ABV, even though it's not like really high for a gin, it's kind of like a fairly on the lower side of normal, but still within gin territory, not liqueur territory. So that kind of balances out the sweetness, which is kind of nice. But you know, I get a little bit of subtle fruit, but not overwhelming. It's definitely this one, it's all about those Christmas spices. So if you love Christmas spice, if you love your Christmas pudding, all those kind of cakey flavors as well, there's some good punch of vanilla in there, then definitely you're gonna absolutely love this gin. Now today I haven't spent loads of time talking about what this gin actually tastes like because I think it's pretty obvious. It does exactly what it set out to, but I'm gonna spend a little bit more time today on talking about how to mix this one because it's definitely far from your classic style of gin, so it's not gonna be as versatile, and I found it a little bit more tricky because of the sweetness on this gin, and the fact that it's 38% alcohol makes it quite a approachable. This is an easy one to drink straight, preferably I think on a little bit of ice. Ice and that extra dilution I find usually just helps to open it up and just tame that sweetness a little. I probably would even add a little bit of a twist, just the peel of lemon. Again, I find that just dries it out without adding that contrasting acidity. But if you're feeling fancy and want to turn that into a cocktail, this would be a great one to turn into an old-fashioned. You don't really even need to add any sugar, it's already in the bottle. Just add your bitters. Orange bitters would be amazing, but Angostura classic bitters would work great too. Stir it down, strain it over some ice with a long citrus peel. It would be absolutely delicious. And again, because of that sweetness, it generally works in all those kind of blank canvas lemon-based cocktails. Two of my favorite with this gin so far have been a French 75 and the White Lady. Both of them absolutely delicious. As you can imagine, bubbles, make it a celebratory drink, or some orange goes great with all these different flavors. There's not much orange in here anyway, so add that little extra kind of kick to it. Now, you're probably wondering why I just skipped straight to the cocktails and we haven't even talked about mixers or gin and tonics yet. Well, this one I found quite difficult. I don't think it really goes great with most tonic waters. I mean, the extra sweetness plus that spice flavor profile, it just kind of clashed with the tonic water. But if you really have your heart set on tonic water, I found personally that the Fever Tree Mediterranean tonic worked pretty well, and definitely I would add a wedge of lemon or some kind of acidic citrus for sure to just balance out the sweetness. It really did need that. But the good news is there were other mixes that I thought that were absolutely delicious. The first one was orange juice, but with the orange juice, make sure it's super fresh so you get that little acidic bite to balance the sweetness. Maybe even make it super fluffy out of one of those fancy juices, and you're gonna get an amazing texture too. The other mixer that I thought works really well with this gin is ginger beer. You know, it makes sense, there's ginger in here, all those different spices, add a lime wedge, again, balance out that sweetness. It was really a match made in heaven. So that's how I would drink it, but play around with it and find out what works for you, because like I said, it's a little bit tricky to kind of match that flavor profile with different combinations. But I guess now's the time you want to hear my final thoughts on the Prohibition Christmas Gin. As always, the hard and fast facts first. We're talking 38% alcohol. We've got a 500ml bottle, and it's around $110 to $125 Australian, depending on where you buy it from. Now, this one is pretty much as expensive as gin gets, but is it value for money? Well, I guess that's a little bit of a tricky question, because value means different things to different people. I will say this though, even though it is quite pricey, you are buying from, in my opinion, one of the best craft distilleries in Australia. And also, there's no denying it, based on taste, it's a delicious product. I can see how this gin would make a really great gift. I mean, look at the bottle, check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. The other thing is that also mine came in this absolutely amazingly beautiful box. I don't know if you can see it, but check it out. The detail on it is absolutely amazing. The guys at Prohibition always go that extra level when it comes to their packaging. Given the price, and in all transparency, I shelled out the full $125 for this bottle. I'll probably share it with friends as something special over the holiday period. So guys, if you want to discover more amazing gin just like the Prohibition Christmas Gin, start right now by clicking subscribe just up here so you don't miss out on any new reviews as they come out. In the meantime, click through the playlist here and you can check out all the reviews that I've already done. Until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed the Prohibition Christmas Gin. Cheers.